So I was over at Hillary's house the other day, and I happened to notice she had this book, The Life of Giant Geckos. Started reading through it, and then I realized we completely forgot to do the 6-month update for Mr. Mittens. The leachianus Rhacodactylus that Hillary has here in her living room. And we did the build live on camera. You can go check that video out. David will link to it. But let's check in with Hillary and see how the past 6 months of Mr. Mittens' life have been going. So, how's he been doing?
Oh, he is happy as a little clam in his enclosure.
Oh, I like that. So what are some of the things that he's liked the most? So when we built it, we kind of put some features into it that, you know, like the logs coming out of the side, making sure he had lots of cork tubes to go into. What are some of the things you've noticed he's really enjoyed?
Oh, he loves the logs the most. I've even added a few more since our building initially.
He's got tubes on tubes in there. Oh,
Yep.
I love that.
The plants have grown in very nicely.
Okay.
As you can see, it's a very lush jungle in here these days.
Well, so talking about the lush jungle, let's go through the 5 parameters of how you've been keeping Mr. Mittens happy, alive, healthy, and well. So first off, what are you doing for daylight?
Daylight, we have our T5 up here.
Okay. And do you have an LED up there as well too? Yep.
Sure do.
Excellent. And how long do you keep that daylight on for?
About 12 hours every day.
Next one, UV. What are you doing for UV? That's the T5.
Yep.
And next on for about the same?
About the same.
And you use the 5%?
Yeah, and like
Okay.
he is nocturnal too, so it's, you know, there's some debate as far as like whether they actually need it or not, but I like to offer it to him if he chooses to come out and bask underneath it.
And talking about that, how often do you actually see him out of his cork tubes just chilling during the day?
You know, it's infrequent.
So this is one of the reasons, I'm gonna take a real quick time out here. This is one of the reasons that we always recommend making your habitat look as beautiful as you like it to look, because sometimes you might not see your animal that much, so you might as well have something beautiful sitting there. Beyond that, okay, so we got daylight and UV.
Yep.
Heat, what are you doing for heat for him?
Honestly, over the summer, I didn't need to have heat because it was warm enough. Leachianus geckos don't really need it to be very hot.
Okay.
But now that it's getting a little cooler out, I did add a heat bulb, low wattage. It's just a 50-watt heat bulb.
And I'm looking right now, it looks like it's about 71 degrees in there, 70.7 degrees.
Yep, yeah, the lower part is going to be in the 70s, and then the upper part is going to be about 75.
Where do you see him hanging out more? Like higher, lower, or?
Depends on the time of the day and time of the night.
Okay, so it's all whatever he.
Yeah,
is-
he gets around.
Excellent. So daylight, UV, heat, rainfall.
Rainfall. We have our mister here.
Okay.
And I have it set on a schedule, and same with the fogger too.
What schedule do you have it on?
Right now, Mr. Mittens is on 20 seconds every 4 hours on maximum power.
20 seconds every 4 hours, maximum power.
Yep, and I have had to adjust it a little bit now too, since I added in that heat bulb.
Okay.
Just to figure
Dries
out
a
his
little
proper
more,
parameters.
or-
Yep.
Okay. What about the plants? Have you been having to hand water them at all, or is it just off the mister?
Yeah, it's just been off the mister,
Okay.
and I've just let them go, and it's pretty self-sustaining in here. I really haven't had to do a whole lot.
That's
Yeah,
it. So
that's
we'll
ideal.
get to that in a second. What about the fogger?
Fogger, we are on 30 minutes every 4 hours.
Okay. 30 minutes every 4 hours. And you found that that's kept all of your parameters exactly where you like them.
Yep, that's
So these guys are one of the more expensive geckos. They are, now he is the smallest of the largest of extant geckos. I just learned that 5 seconds ago, so I really wanted to say that on camera. But so they're kind of an expensive gecko, and people that are looking to spend this much on a gecko might be a little hesitant in terms of like not wanting to do anything that's gonna harm it, which you shouldn't for any animal, but you spend a lot of money, you wanna make sure you do it right.
right.
How have you found his care to be?
I have found it to be supremely easy, especially since I personally can just set it to automated and not have to be worrying about hand misting everything, watering all the plants myself. Like it's very self-sustaining, and he can just be a gecko without me having to intrude upon him.
What are you doing for food?
Food.
Okay.
Mr. Mittens is a big fan of Pangea.
Okay, easy.
He has a few different favorites. He loves fig and insect, and he also loves the papaya one. So this one is papaya today, and I like to mix in a little bit of real fruit as well, just to give him options.
How much time do you spend on a given day actually taking care of them?
You know, it's very minimal. It's probably 10 minutes or less.
So despite the price tag and seeming a little maybe scary, these are probably actually one of the easier species, especially in elite habitat.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like it it could not be any easier having this setup here with him in it.
Well, that is excellent. Hopefully along the course of this video, David has thrown a lot of B-roll in of Mr. Mittens climbing around, so you get to see him. He does like to hide, you know, most of the day.
He
so
is
we don't have him
nocturnal
standing
after
here.
all.
But hopefully lots of B-roll, and we will update you again in, let's call it another 6 months, just to see how fully this grows in. A lot of the climbing vines and stuff like that have started to really look good, and it'll be cool to see how they do in another 6 months from here. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for updating on Mr. Mittens, and we'll see you all soon.